Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Drew here, back with a new video. So I'm going to be going over my Musketeer 3v3 gear and power setup guide thingy. I've already done my witchdoctor one. I'm not posting in a little while. I'm kind of burnt out in the game, but I am going to make this video now. So let's get into it. So first, let's go over my hat. My backpack is cluttered right now, so I don't want to talk about it. So the main hat that I really use is Hail of Cannonballs and Super Strike. The Manchu Tower hat. Does not matter what level, if you level 55 or 60 version, it's the same thing. Just Hail of Cannonballs Super Strike hat is great. I like it. I like having the extra bombs for 3v3 because bombs are, if you can just hit clumps, and if I just have, extra bombs and they do a lot of damage, hey, that's great. And then a Super Strike is also great because it's good, nice, guaranteed hit, guaranteed damage, get chains. It's great. So that's pretty much the only thing I use for 3v3. Yeah, literally the only hat I use for 3v3 really at all. Next for my coat, I have Ranchero's Finery. There's also a level 20 version. I got the level 30 version. By the way, let me quickly say this from Manchu Tower, and this one you can get from level 30 group chests in Cool Ranch. So if you farm like Tyson in like a group of 4, you can get this pretty easily. Or really, any fight that drops like level 30 gear. Ranchero's Finery for the valor's armor. I like having one VA and one fort on musket for 3v3. Just cause yes, my private gear is mostly giving the shields, but it's good to have emergency shields on my other characters as well. So yeah, extra VA is really nice. The only other, I guess, really, if I didn't want to have grit on, because maybe there's a bunch of stun units or whatever, I could run just the quick adjust robe. And the other thing I can run is Obsidian Bill's jacket if I want to run grit 3. For my boots, I pretty much mostly run the Gladiator's Gaiters. These are great. There's also a version from the bazaar. So these these I got from the Empire bundle. That also gives you Nausicaa, which is a good companion. But you can also buy a version from the bazaar. I don't know what they're called. I might have them. Yeah, Arc Peril boots you can buy from the bazaar. Not as good as stats, but it's just a nice, free to play version if you don't want to buy an Empire bundle for it. But good stats, and then a Walk in Darkness because I like that 5-turn hide. For late game, it's great if you're just in danger or whatever. But do keep in mind your Overwatch can trigger and remove your hide. So the only weapon that is like good, like the best weapon, is easily the Haywire Thunder Rifle. Sniper shot, which you can either use cross map for just combo hits or like pressure damage, but you can also use it close range for a super hit to just get a bunch of chains and whatnot. It's a guaranteed super. It's great. And then Haywire shot is also pretty nice. You can you knock them back and you do a decent amount of damage, and it also goes right through levies and krakens and whatnot. So that's great. If you do not have this, the one substitute is this Haywire Armada rifle. That's like the substitute for it. But the Thunder Rifle is definitely better. But, you can use this, pretty much the same thing. But 5 range weapons are really just the meta for 3v3. So, yeah, you want to have that 5 range. For my Eyepatch, I pretty much just use my patch of Tyche's Blind Luck. This is nice. The extra Hurricane round is great. I love it, By the way, forgot to say, this can be dropped from the Dreadnought. This I got from the Dreadnought. And this can be dropped from like Xena and like any boss that drops eye patches. Hurricane round, super nice. The only other options that I have, so I have the Technomage's glasses, which I love. If I want to dispel, maybe I'm not running on my Privy or whatever, I will run them sometimes. If I want to dispel slows, I want to dispel, swashbuckler curse, all sorts of stuff. This is great. There also is the teleport eye patch. This is what Abe runs. I don't personally like it. I used it a few times. It's not really my thing. But, if you really want to teleport your musket across the map, go for it. Maybe not the best strat, but, whatever. You do whatever you want. By the way, this is from Bishop. For my totems, I like to run Hail of Cannonball Super Strike. I like that extra bombs once again, and the extra Super Strike is really nice. Some alternatives, you could run your Grit Quick Adjust in this slot. You could run an Absorb in this slot. You could run, you know, a Valor's Fortress in this slot, but I run the Moo Totem Hail of Cannonball Super Strike from the Manchu Tower. For my charm, I run this from Kane. Quick Adjust True Grit, because my pet has True Grit, you know, so, you know, True Grit 1's kind of bad, so, you know, might as well make it True Grit 2. And then that Quick Adjust is super, super nice. If you miss, you know, a chain, maybe you reduce, even if you're not reduced, you just miss, you know, you don't want to mess up your chains, so having that Quick Adjust is super nice. The other stuff you could put in this slot, there's actually a decent amount of options. Okay, you could put in the Warrior's Charm if you want the hide. There's also a hide totem, by the way. You could put the Valor's Fortress. You could put a VA. You could put Purge. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you could put in this slot, really. But for me personally, I like to run that Quick Adjust True Grit. And then finally for the ring, the best ring is probably the Southern Cross Gem. Unless you're trying to get Quick Adjust without True Grit, you can also run the Cane ring. But I like to run Southern Cross Gem all the time. Yeah, that's just the best in my opinion. This I got from Lopan. Yeah. And finally, let's go over pets. The pet that I use is this Lady Chico. We got Regroup. We got Grant's Regroup, Mutineers Grasp, Rally, True Grit, Overwatch, Burst Fire, and Elusive. So let me just go over each of them. So the Regroup in Team PvP is just nice because you get to heal a lot of units. So it's always nice. And also, you know, just having heals on my musket, since I don't carry heals on my gear, is nice. The Mutineers Grasp, that is honestly a useless talent. I was hoping my Kraken's Lament or my Soul Reaver, which are both in this pet's pool, would manifest. But I got Mutineers Grasp. Whatever, reducing crit chance, you can kind of cheese with that if you really want to, but it's not great, but whatever. Kind of a useless talent. Got the Rally. Once again, having heals, since I'm not carrying any revives or whatever, having that heal is really nice. Now I got True Grit. True Grit, combined with this piece of gear, I have True Grit 2. So that just is really good in Team PvP when you're against a lot of musket units, because if they cannot stun you and you're like forted, right, you can just do a lot more damage to them than they can to you. Next got Grant's Overwatch, and then I have Overwatch 2 trained from the secret trainer, making it so I have Overwatch 3. So, you know, getting that reduce when they walk into me, you know, they just get accuracy reduced. I love that. Burst Fire, which is like the one needed talent. Like, you could literally have a pet with only Burst Fire, you know, and that'd be like the one thing you really need, because, you know, you gotta be getting those chains. And then finally we have Grant's Elusive. Now, I feel like Turn the Tide or Elusive can both work. Turn the Tide's not in this pet's pool. I got Elusive, whatever. Not gonna try too hard for a Tide pet, but getting Tide would be really nice. But Elusive 4 is also decent. He's like plus 75% dodge. But it's just the fact that Musketeer does not have that much natural dodge, right? They don't have that much natural dodge. Like they only have like 92 base dodge pretty much. So you really don't have that much dodge. But you know, whatever. That's the pet I'm running right now. Ideally, I'd have a Soul Reaver or Kraken's Lament instead of that Mutineers. But you know, other than that, it's a pretty damn nice pet. Now for my trained powers. So I have Naturally Spooky. This is just this is like the ideal thing for all classes pretty much. But if you already have a Pirate Maid and it's not Naturally Spooky, it's actually not a big deal. But you know, I got Naturally Spooky. That is great. Because that extra spell power will help your bombs. It'll help your heals. It'll help, you know, a lot of stuff. Next, what else do I have trained? I have Fast 2 trained from the Swashbuckler trainer. Because being able to move, you know, getting into that extra movement is great for walking, running away or walking towards stuff and whatnot. I have Staffy Weapons trained. That's just so I can get Witchhunter. Spooky 2 trained. Because Spooky 2 is just sick. I have Witchhunter trained, which requires Staffy Weapons and whatnot. Because Witchhunter, if they try to use magic, I reduce their magic damage, and it's just great. By the way, I have purposely not trained at the 3rd rank of double tap. You can at level 70, but don't. Do not train that if possible. If you already have it trained, it's no big deal. But especially in team PvP, you're against a lot of other Musketeers. So having it go off of agility instead of accuracy is just not good. So do not train that if possible. What else do I have trained? I have Overwatch 2 trained from the Secret Trainer. That's great. And then combined with my pet grants, I have Overwatch 3. And yeah. And then for the actual powers that I have trained, I have from the Privateer Trainer, I have up to Valor's Shield. I have ghostwail trained from the Witchdoctor Trainer. And I have up to 3-round hide trained from the Swashbuckler Trainer. You also have 1 practice point left over. You can get some like Parting Shot. You can get Throwing Knives. You can get Forbidance from the Hidden Trainer. Doesn't really matter. I never really used it. I guess I probably should, but whatever. Now let's actually go over my power setup. So slot 1, I have Tempest of Torpedoes. You gotta love it. It's Nox. Knockback bombs are super helpful, so I have them on slot 1 just in case it's an early round charge or it's just this or that. I like being able to draw them in, as soon as possible and just have them in my hand for whatever. I have Sky Spirit on slot 2, and let me explain this. I like to Sky Spirit turn 1, so then my Chantal sniper shots get boosted in damage. My shots get boosted in damage. My sniper shots and like my sniper shot and ghostwail gets boosted in damage. And just boost it, you know, it's just honestly great. It's just the 3-round buff. It's not, I mean, it's okay, but I find the most use out of it at the beginning. You can also use it if you're charging a Nausicaa early game. I can just pop Sky Spirit and just make your pop off. Slot 3, I have Sniper Shot, because I usually first turn if I pull I'll Sky Spirit, and the second turn I'll Sniper Shot or Ghostwail if I haven't pulled, right? It's great early game damage, early game combo hits, and especially since I usually play Witchdoctor, Musketeer, Privy, you know, the extra combo hits I can really combo and focus down certain units. It's great. Slot 4 Gunnery, because it's just a little extra free damage, and I try to play really passive at the beginning and try to like slow them and just get as much damage as possible. So just having all these infinite range attacks up front is great. Slot 5 Ghostwail, because once again it's like a sniper shot. It's just infinite range, you know, as long as you have line of sight you just get some free, you know, 79 damage or so, right? Slot 6 I have Barricades. Some people are gonna disagree with this, some people are gonna agree with this. I don't personally train Barricades on any of my pirates, but since I have them on Musketeer, I might as well use them. So the 2 main things I use them for: 1, I mostly try to use them aggressively and block the line of sight of like the Witchdoctor, like a Musketeer trying to get sniper shots off or something. Just blocking line of sight, of slows, right? I just try to block line of sight of someone. I don't usually use them defensively. I don't try to corner up in a barricade or anything like that. Although sometimes, you know, if they have, you know, hidden units trying to threaten one of my pirates or whatever, I can use barricades to block them and make them spend an extra turn diverting a new path or whatever. So that's nice. Hail Cannonballs, slot 7, because if they're just trying to, you know, come up early, I can get some nice hits off of them. Next, slot 8, 9, and 10, I have my shields. So I have VA up first. I don't know why. Actually, sorry. I should have Valor Shield up first. I don't know why. If Valor Shield up first, it's just something where it's like I can just Valor Shield myself if I have nothing really to do, you know, during a turn. Might as well just put that on since, you know, I'll get rushed eventually. You know, slows cannot keep them back forever. So, you know, I have that. Then Valor's Armor. This is like it's up here as like an emergency. If I really need to VA someone or whatever, that's fine. Slot 10, Valor's Fortress. Once again, it's up so high because it's kind of like an emergency. You know, if I really need it that early. Hopefully, I'd be using these 2 more late game. But, you know, yeah, if you get rushed early or something, we can use them. Slot 11 and 12, Hail of Cannonballs. Just more of them. Gotta love those bombs. Just more AoE splash hits. I love them. On slot 13, I have Scatter Spike. Some people think this is useless, but I use it to kind of like barricades sometimes, to just kind of divert someone's path, make them spend, you know, an extra turn, you know, pathing a unit or whatever. I can also put them in their back line to make it hard for them to like rotate up and like, you know, it's great for like cornering people and whatnot. Number 14, I have Wind Spirit. I probably could have this higher, but I have it on slot 14 because it's a nice little agility buff. And since I'm using pretty much all Musketeer units most of the time, or even if I'm running contestants, and you're running a bunch of agility units, just having that 10-round buff is great, right? I love that. Slot 15, I have this Walk in Shadows. Now, people are going to wonder, why is it above the Walk in Darkness? Because sometimes I'll pull this a little bit earlier, and I'll, like, hidden sniper shot someone. If I happen to pull this early game, I can hidden sniper shot someone. And if it's, like, combined with Sky Spirit, it can do, like, 15, 1800 damage. I don't even want to do the math right now, but, like, it can do a lot of damage. So, yeah. But I can also use these defensively if people are starting to rush or whatever. I can just use them defensively. Yeah. Next slot 17 and 18, I have my Hurricane Round and Inferno Shot. These are just big damage hits that can hit multiple people. I also like hitting people when they're hidden with these. They're great. Slot 19, I have Random Mortar Shells. They're not as powerful, right? They do like 2/3 the damage, but that is fine. They're still nice AoE hits. Gotta love all those bombs in the first page. It's great. Slot 20, I have Regroup, because it's a nice group heal. You know, my units are all getting battered and whatnot. You know, maybe I've been bombed and all this. Just a nice little group heal. And since I have a group heal on my Witchdoctor's pet and my Privy pet at the moment, although hopefully I won't on my Privy pet soon, but I have group heals on all of them. So if one turn I just pop triple group heal, I can just heal like 1,000, right? Like it's on all my units. Slot 21, I have Rally, because gotta love that heal, just for whatever. I have Super Strike on slot 22, because it's a Super Strike, you know? I can get some chains. It's good if I don't have much else to do. Might as well Super Strike, get some chains. Slot 23, Haywire Shot. Knocking people back to, you know, knock people back, or just straight up doing a lot of damage. Slot 24, I have my second Hurricane Round. This is for my Eyepatch, because, you know, hitting hidden people or whatever, hitting people in corners. I got my Rouse, and I'll go over this next row, and then after that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Powder Monkey's Palisade. This I will combo with my Bonnie and Scatterblast sometimes. If I somehow pull it and there's, you know, a good Scatterblast combo, I can do that, and then Bonnie Ann will set it off, so it's great. I'm trying to get Lemma Moonskull at the moment on my Musketeer, because I could Powder Monkey, you know, early game and like use the big guns. But it's pretty good, and especially if your Musketeer goes second, someone else goes third, you can use this. I would actually put this up way more and use that, and then gunnery combo early game. 27, we have Cloud Spirit. It's kind of far back here, but once again, I already have my Chantal's Cloud Spirit, so I'm not too worried about if I can't draw mine. I just have a guaranteed Chantal one. Slot 28, another Super Strike, because Super Strikes are nice. Got my Uncanny Shot on slot 29. Sometimes it can be really useful, sometimes it's not. It's whatever. And then I just have Bear Trap on slot 30. Because sometimes I'll pull this, you know, a little earlier and block someone's pathing or whatever. After this, for me personally, I haven't even paid that much attention to whatever is here. I don't really care that much. Really, I don't. This is stuff that I'm going to be pulling such late game. Does not really matter. I will say the reason why my Mutineers Grasp is so far down here is because it does not do much damage. Reducing the crit chance can be decent, but this is more like a really late game stuff. This is just like my late game stuff. And yeah. And the one more thing I want to show you is just my companion setups. This is the main setup I would use in like a standard 3v3. I would use my Chantal. Here's how she's set up. My Exeter. Here's how he is set up. And then my Bonnie. Here's how she's set up. But a few other units that I will use sometimes. Nazika, I have her set up with chains. I have my Contessa with a pretty standard setup. And then these last two I pretty much never really use. And I also have Louis, who I will once in a while use. And then I have my Rat and Toro, which I more use these. More use Rat for 1v1. Toro I almost never use. Maybe once in a while for like a 2v2. But yeah, those are how my companions are set up. That's pretty much it for this video. Whenever my gear, whenever my power setup. Yeah, it's great. So really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If it helped you in 3v3, if just, you know, you enjoyed it, leave a like. And yeah, like, you know, subscribe, you know, whatever you want. Yeah. See you guys in the next one. Peace.